What's up? Jargon Music TV. I'm at home listening to Get Press, the Get Free or Die Trying mixtape got 2003, Last Days, featuring the Onyx. There's a line here that says, even today our reparations ain't paid. You can see it along the way, poverty. And the way I see it, is that 2003, people still didn't have their reparations in America. 2012, we still don't have our reparations in SA. So, as a writer and as a social activist, I get disturbed by such, facts, on especially on wax or on tracks. And I think it's about time, man. As writers, we speak about these things. People like About That Press have shown us the way, and they've been brave so much that they have totally let go of this idea of trying to blow up. But we blow the truth up so that people know what time it is and what we need to do strategically to get out of these cesspools of degradation we call our projects in the States and townships in SA. And I think as a member of Jargon Music, which is also a hip-hop group, revolutionary in orientation, we think that our music has to speak to this truth of trying to find ways of changing our lives completely and changing our country so that black people are put forward and prioritized first, because they're the majority first and foremost, and they're the most oppressed people, and they're the ones that don't have health care, that suffer illiteracy in the rural areas and even in urban settings as well. And they're the ones that are ravaged by HIV/AIDS, unemployment, and these are the things that I'm more interested in exploring with my writings, more than the need to glamorize a crime, the need to look quote unquote positive, look for the solution. The solution is the problem. So if I don't address the problem, I will never ever have any imaginative ways or creative ways of finding a solution. And then I think Dead Press is in a way a blueprint of how to attack the white power structure that still holds everyone at ransom, that still sucks the blood of our people in order to construct itself as heaven. And I think that writers nowadays have to think about this thing carefully. They have to constantly try, as it were, to unfurl this problem and actually show it for what it is, a human created problem. A problem that we never created, as Biko says on The Quest for Humanity. We have to think of solutions to a problem that we never created. We never created white domination, white power. We never created racism. We never created classism. We never created the prison industrial complex. But we are now having to deal and construct our identities around these oppressive formulations from white supremacy. And even our most sincere thoughts are in a way absorbed by this present state of affairs of white power, market tyranny, how even ezoqoqosho ziphethwe kwangaba bantu bamhlophe basicinezelayo basithathela umhlaba basasicinezela even namhlanje. So as a 21st century black urban writer, black conscious in orientation, as I've said before, I always try to locate black people at the center of every writing that I do. And you suffer as a result of that. You suffer popularity, which I don't really give a fuck about. You suffer in a way that you lose friends because people think that music, because of the feeling of these times, it's as if umculo is just about celebrating. I don't even know what people are celebrating. Poor ass motherfuckers are celebrating shit that they don't have. But then again, there's no Lisa for not understanding why banjalo, because as Karl Marx says, the values of the ruling class get to be disseminated to such an extent that the wretched, the poorest of the poor, what I refer to as the begging class, think that those values of the ruling class are their values. Hence into yezikhothane newezinjani. So as a Jargon music soldier, Jargon music revolutionary, I have to talk about these things. And we have a mixtape coming out. It's called "We're Too Gifted to Surrender." There's about 16 tracks, if I'm not mistaken. It has been a labor of love in a way, in the sense that everything that we do, every thought, every scream, every line, every lyric full of hate at the injustice that we find ourselves experiencing as a people is also born out of love, because even revolution is love. So you can check Jargon Music on Facebook, Jargon Music TV1, Jargon abe capital letter, the J on M, I think abe capital letter, T no V1 babe capital letters as well. We're trying to get a Twitter account going. I don't know what the fuck Twitter is about anyway. I don't really care, but if the people are there, I'm trying to get there as well. So I'm gonna play a few tracks and maybe recite something. I have something in hand. Oh yeah, let me do it like this. Recite something and then play a few tracks from the mixtape and then post everything on YouTube. Yeah, one last thing, I'm also a member of i.e.SNI, and I'm also a member of the September National Imbizo. i.e.SNI is a Biko inspired black conscious movement which was started in a way to counter the dominant whitewashing values of the white power structure to locate black people again in their circumstances and to make them deal with who they are, to come to themselves, as Biko says. And this is part of the whole decolonialize, what am I saying? But it's part of trying to decolonize, and it's a violent thing, you know. It's difficult in that. For example, the Black Power Fist thingy has been appropriated by the market. So how do we deal with such things? The power to the people in itself will or has been appropriated by the market. These are things that I applaud my blackwash brothers who have taught me to think in these ways. What do we do with the problematic of the market's power to totally take the most revolutionary, even creations or whatever, Zetu, as totally committed black conscious revolutionaries. So with the blackwash, it's about that, also raising the level of consciousness yethu sisonke as abantu abamnyama, so as to deal with our present situation in SA. And there's a line that constantly solonge ithethwa kwi-blackwash, bavuka daki. 1994 changed for God. And I think this is a really important line, because it makes people to have to deal with the present situation in SA. Escapism is not gonna get us anywhere. So blackwash, that line, forces someone to quickly shift the paradigm of thing. But why would these people say something like this when we are told constantly that we are improving, everything is okay, just need, time, blah 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 blah. And then I'm also part of the September National Imbizo, as I've said. September National Imbizo, liqumrhu labantu abafanayo ngocinga, like people of mostly the black conscious bloc, who have gathered together to say that South African society cannot continue in the present trajectory it is on. It's not going to take us anywhere, especially as the majority, which is the blacks. And we have to find solutions, because with time we have seen that the liberational movements have sold us out, especially the ANC, which has been able to get to a point where they have state power since 94, but they have not used that state power to advantage black people throughout the country. They have not created this so-called better life for all. They have created a better life for some. And the some is those ones that have been able to move away because of having decent jobs, to move into a middle class existence, to escape the horrors of black life. They've used the BEE to do this, whilst the land is still in the hands of white people, the economy is still in the hands of white people, and South Africa still has all the characteristics of a white country. So September National Imbizo then was about that, and through that endeavor of trying to get these black people together. They formulated, or we formulated, because I'm also part of September National Imbizo, what we refer to as the People's Manifesto. A manifesto that speaks to the present day-to-day realities of black life. Poor transport, poor health care, poor housing, poor education. So the People's Manifesto says that public servants, from the president all the way to the street sweeper, must use public services and not go private. And this should be forced upon government into making it into a law. And on the 12th of September, we're marching to Parliament to force government there, in that house of legislation, to legislate this into a law. Because we have seen repeatedly, from the Mandela administration all the way to the Mbeki administration and into the Zuma administration of the ANC, that government officials will never fix our ailing transport system, health system, school system, and housing, because they do not use these services. They are not the ones that have to arrive at 7 in the morning or even 6 or 4 in the morning in a public hospital to wait for a doctor that is going to arrive at 12 maybe. They're not the ones whose kids have to deal with a modern form of Bantu education in the public schools in our townships. So with this endeavor, we hope to drastically change how politics function in South Africa and how public servants serve, because at the moment they are not serving, they are celebrities, and they are meant to be serving us, not the other way around, us begging them to serve us and having all the time to see them on TV being corrupt, on Deborah, on Third Degree, still being arrogant, in their corruption. So, okay, let me play, and you can go on www.septembernationalimbizo.org, or that's where you get all the info on the September National Imbizo. You can also go on Blackwash 2012 on Facebook, Jargon Music on Facebook, Jargon Music TV1 on YouTube. And I'm also gonna start a blog as well, because I find that in hip hop there's a lot of confusion, and the so-called elders in hip hop have suddenly just disappeared, or they have been disappearing for a long time, and we have to do something, because hip hop is a really powerful tool that can be used to conscientize, to sharpen the mind, to work for revolutionary change. So let me play this thing. I'm gonna play a few tracks of the mixtape Jargon Music, Too Gifted to Surrender. Shout out to Zimasa, shout out to Pixie, shout out to Ahmad, shout out to Lloyd, shout out to Abu Ati, shout out to Freeze, my partner in rhyme, my partner in change, man, in trying to bring about change in SA. Shout out to everyone who knows me in hip hop. I think we're getting them, and now people have been poisoned mentally so much that the most noble basic truth to them seems to be the overthrow of everything, and it makes them uncomfortable. So we have to work hard. Yeah, stuck a little bit. Okay, let's do this. Ziyakhala insana zikaSankara noBiko, indlala yenzakala my people. We gotta fight it harder as equals. They're making martyrs of people who working harder for freedom. The road we chose is lonely like when the wind blows. Of course we know we can't get away from evil. Let's rot these foes, they can't fuck around with me though. Kumncilo zizilile, we ghetto youths zifuna uthixo. Now I don't rap, I manifest my consciousness. They made a conscious mess to murder ghetto youths like Sapenders, Kufervut. And they don't admit to ghetto ngumamozali gangsters, and it's no good. I go through days when I don't wanna gaze at the sun. There's no 2 days that are the same. You know what I want, son. So kidnap abelungu, spoon ransom like Somalians. You know what the plan. Reparations mazibuye, compensation manyuke, lizwe lethu malibuye, nensana zethu mazikhule.